he is there. He's got his cheer squad with him as well, and yeah, we're getting into this.
Yeah. Hopefully things are a little bit better. It also explains the ping issue, you know. Vacation homes, don't imagine them to be to have the most stable connection. But regardless, we are going to be jumping into this pre-qualifying match. It is going to be that PVT, and it's going to kick off on Dragon Scales. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in that bottom right-hand corner. We have our red Protoss player coming down from the land of China, going to be representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Potato.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have as opponent, we have the Australian Terran player. Representing Bubme, it is Azure.
That's a walrus.
It is a walrus. It is.
Are walruses in Australia?
It may be in the bathroom of Pez's holiday house. Oh my god. But yeah, for those wondering, I mean, Asher actually said all of this basically last night. That is the reason why Asher is not going to be available to cast this weekend, because Asher is also one of those players out there vacationing for the Easter long weekend, unfortunately, and I would love to join them, but man, we got some casting to do, buddy. All right, so someone's gonna do it. Someone's gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, you could have just used a PC from the holiday home.
True, I could have taken Oreo's laptop and Azure wouldn't be able to play.
Yeah.
Oh my god, let's go, Poppy, let's go. I think Faz was gonna be there as well. Like, yeah, basically a big AU meetup for the weekend, and I'm sure shenanigans will be had this weekend. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah,
Azure's having the wildest time. He's playing StarCraft.
Exactly, yeah. So, everything changed. It's like such a difference of environment, you know. From north down to the south.
There you go. And we'll see what Potato can bring to the table here, as we do have a 1 gas opener from Azure, a much more economic build. With that, he can throw down his CC, but he's going for some aggression across the map. He's trying to get this bunker up and running so he can deny mining at the natural.
Yeah, already able to take out one of these probes, preventing that SCV that's building a bunker from getting taken out.
Oh yeah,
really
exactly. Yeah, really great micro here from Azure, flexing a little bit as the bunker will complete, it will finish, and he will be able to deny all of this mining. A bit of a late reaction from Potato. Typically, we expect us to be seeing a shield battery. There it is now, but quite late, and oh my god, he has to be careful not to lose any more probes.
Really does. Azure tipping a little bit back and forth, really trying to punish a couple of these probes that transferred a little prematurely. Yeah. See, a lot of them just aren't doing anything right now. They're idle.
Yeah, they're going to be long distance mining here, just waiting for that shield battery. Again, a late response from Potato. He will eventually clean this up, but this is a lot of damage being done.
Yeah, this really cuts into the mining, as we can see from the income difference.
Oh, can he get another probe? It looks like he cannot. Meanwhile, we do have a little bit of SCV micro as well, trying to survive, trying to avoid the stalker shots. Ooh.
Finally, it goes down, but so will another probe, and this Reaper will make it out alive. Thankfully for Potato, he was able to kill that bunker instead of letting the salvage finish.
Yeah, he killed the bunker, which is a nice recompense, but at the end of the day, he still lost a lot of mining time, and oh, the Reaper dips in, and the tech has been revealed. It was a part of the wall. Azure is aware of the Twilight Council opening.
Hey, it's a full-on scout with this Reaper, and he's gonna double-check again with a mine drop later down the line. Sure, I mean, he's just in a nice solid position. Potato, not in a bad position either, but he's just not as comfortable as he would like to be.
Yeah, exactly. As oh my god, Azure was a little bit late to lift up that depot, and one adept is going to be able to slip into the main base here. This doesn't just scout the opener, it also delays the mine drop.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah, at this point, Potato has enough time to really prepare for the mine drop coming his way. I don't expect there to be a lot of damage from this one drop.
And
of course, Even without getting damage, it's nice to get a scout off, though.
It really is, and honestly, like, this is so much here. Like, this Woodermine drop should already be hitting seconds ago by now, a minute ago even, and this just delayed things so much chaos was wrought just because of that Adept. And bearing in mind, Azure is playing from a holiday house, so he doesn't have his typical setup, and we have been seeing a couple of supply blocks here and there. Like, he isn't playing at his best, at his prime.
Yeah. I imagine he's using a different keyboard, potentially?
In the sink.
He's in the yeah.
he's balancing the keyboard on the sink, mate.
On the yeah. It's a 10 kilo, so it doesn't go on the other sides. It doesn't cover both sides that well.
Yeah, exactly. We do have that mine drop, but nice reaction again from Potato because he saw it coming. He delayed it by so much as well. The Stalkers are in position, and the mines don't do any damage.
Trying to, like in the burrow and re-burrow, Azure doesn't get any damage done, but I'm not sure if this is just to be Huff and Copium light, but he confirms Blink.
Man, that's I don't know what that is, man. He saw the Twilight Council opening earlier, mate, but you're not wrong. He knows it's Blink. Could have been charged.
It could have been charged.
Could have been Glaze. Could have been something else. Yeah, I mean, Azure had a good start, but I do think that the shutting down of this Widowmine drop is a way of Potato getting back into this, right? Like, we saw so much lost mine time earlier, so he has now been able to recover, deal some counter damage, and now we do see a bit of a counter attack setup. We do have a couple more gateways on the way. Before that happened, though, before the additional gateways, Potato is going straight for Colossus production.
Yeah, he knows that Colossus are going to be a really good way of keeping him safe. I guess, I'm not sure if he's familiar with Azure that much, but Azure does like his timing pushes in TvP. He likes pushing out initially with that pretty standard 1-1, and then if that fails, multi-pronging everywhere until his opponent submits. But yeah, this is, again, just a really good way of keeping Potato safe against Bioterran.
Yeah, exactly, because any kind of bio push is going to be, or at least early bio push is going to be deflected by 1 to 2 Colossi. And there we go, the second Colossus is on the way, but Azure is going to take this line down. We do see the Raven zooming across the map, and it is going to deal some counter damage with these auto turrets.
Potentially, because of course with a shield battery, you're going to need more than one auto turret, and Azure doesn't think it's worth it right now.
Yeah, exactly. This is a high energy Raven, and he could go for a different move. Azure's trying to move out across time, but as he moves out, the Stalkers blink in, and they're gonna pull him back into his own main.
Yeah, Azure was already getting ready for such a good defensive position to really secure that third base, but now at least he splits up his army pretty well.
Yeah, he actually picks off 3 of these Stalkers. Very nice punish of this blink. But this move out has been spotted. And what I was about to say is that Azure can still go for a push, and he can kind of time this up. The Raven can come in from behind and disable these Colossi. Oh no! Oh no!
And not if it gets sniped by the Stalkers! He's so careful! It's such an awkward position for this Raven to be in. He is able to disable one of this Colossus. Unfortunately, he does disable it twice.
Yeah. A little bit of a misclick. He was supposed to disable both Colossus, but he does target one in the end. The tanks are going to be going down here, and Potato is going to be able to push on forward and force Azure back.
Yeah, I thought the tanks really act as a backbone for this army. I mean, there's nothing keeping it solid. Potato, like you said, is just pushing this all the way back. I don't think it's going to be able to... I don't think he's going to be able to end the game just yet, but he can pick off more tanks if he so wanted to. He can get some value done. I'm amazed that this Raven is still alive.
I'm shocked. The Raven somehow survived in the end. We'll be able to gather some energy and go for some more auto turret harass. And again, Azure's going to need it because he just lost 2 tanks for almost nothing. Like, that push really fell in its face. Potato was so solid against it. And yeah, from here he can just take a 4th base. He can take that economic lead. Potato is looking pretty damn good right now.
Yeah. And just look at those Colossus.
Yeah, the Colossus
did finish up.
Did finish up. We do have 3 Colossus. The 3rd one is going to be meeting up with the army soon in TM. But here we go. Before that happens, Potato flirting with death here. I don't think it's really necessary for him to try to push in. He's setting up a bit of a zealot run by at the same time, but he opts not to go for it.
Oh. Well, he opts not to commit to it, but he takes out the tank.
Oh.
The safety tank, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the tank goes down. We have no tanks remaining. The defensive position here for Azure isn't as strong as it once was.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot weaker, and Potato's looking to see how he can exploit that. He's got Archons out now.
Yeah, he does have those Archons. We do have a Prism on the way behind this as well. +1 is done for him. We do see Azure steaming on forward, though. A lot of these Stalkers were left quite exposed.
Yeah, this might just be Potato getting too far ahead of himself. He's waiting for more reinforcements. He does have a couple of Zealots in position, as well as another Colossus. F's for that Raven. It finally went down.
Mate, it was coming in from behind to try and disable the Colossi again. It would have been amazing, but alas, it did go down. And here we go. Potato's pushing on forward with his Charge Lot Archon. He's getting on top of the Marine Marauder. And again, without tanks, without mines being in position, Potato has too much.
Yeah, GG is called. Potato takes game number 1.
Wow, GG. Really strong showing here from Potato. Surprising result. I thought Azure would have a bit of an easier time going on into the qualifying match, but I also assumed Azure was still back at home in Queensland, and that is not the case.
Yeah, as did I. Thought it was holding the fort over at Brisbane. Keeping the Brisbane Fires going.
Yeah, exactly, but instead he is not, and now we're going to be moving on to the second game here, and Potato is 1 game away from moving on to a qualifying match.
He actually is, yeah. Potato, the player who I certainly didn't think of as a favorite in this list of signups, gets a little bit of an upset against Jolly Well Loves. I mean, okay, sure, maybe it was a walkover. But if he can take out Azure, that is gonna... He won't qualify just yet, you know, he'll have to face, I believe it's Beastork waiting on the other side of this. Yeah, he will have to defeat Beastork in order to qualify, but yeah, Potato is, I can say with certainty, is now, from now on, a player who I'm gonna keep my eyes on.
Yeah. As am I, as we are going to be getting into this, and oh boy, I will be shocked if this is going to be a 2-0, but we are 1 game away from that being the case here, as we're going to be loading in to Gressvan.
Yeah. Trying to remember, and then, yeah, and if this goes to the ace match, Babylon.
Man, I can already hear Chappie in the background right now being like, mate, we chose one of us to play tonight. It should have been me. Oh my god.
I can already imagine the roastings coming down. Oreo is gonna have a few words to say. Use my PC for this. That's not qualifier tomorrow, but regardless, we are going to be loading into game number 2 of this pre-qualifying match. Oh, we're gonna have to re. Oh no. Yep. We're gonna have to re real quick.
Yeah, all good, all good. Looks like we have some more technical issues. Again, we were talking about it earlier. Azure doesn't have his regular home setup. It is not ideal, and it looks like, yeah, we have more than just some latency issues, maybe some PC performance issues as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that. Wait. I was gonna say I can't imagine Oreo lugging, you know, his entire tower, his PC tower, over to a beach house or vacation house, I should say. But now I think about it.
Well, I believe if this is the original PC of Oreo. His Mac. I don't know if you remember. He used to play in GPUs from university with his Mac, like playing huddled in the library, using the university Wi-Fi. That. I believe that is the same Mac. Which, I mean, Oreo's competed before using that PC. To be fair,
He's competed before using that PC, using that keyboard, like the Mac keyboard. I think he did have his own mouse. So, you know, thankfully he wasn't using a trackpad, but... Yeah, it's possible, but... From what I understand, that Mac is rather old.
Yeah.
At the very least 5 years old at this point. So.
Yeah, it's an old Mac, definitely.
And it's a
definitely.
Mac.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who games on a Mac? I did when I owned a Mac and no PC.
It's not really the thing to do. It's not really the thing to do.
Not-
So
You're very limited in your options there. Yeah.
definitely. But hopefully it's able to hold on. Hopefully it's able to chug along for the rest of the qualifier.
Yeah. Because remember, there is still at least one more match after this. It's the best of 5. Fingers crossed, all things are going to be fine. But regardless, we are going to be continuing this best of 3 pre-qualifying match on Gresven. We're in the bottom right-hand corner map, swatting all the way. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Protoss player coming out from the land of China, representing Starlight Twinkle. He is not a pleb, but he is Potato.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gresvan, we have as opponent, we have the Australian Terran player, the sole Australian representative in the entire bracket down in this series, the blue Terran, Azure.
Quite literally the chosen one.
He
Azure
is
high.
Yes, he is the chosen one. He is the one that was promised the Australian regions to come together, and Azure is the champion selected to represent all of the land of Oz.
Yeah, him and Piglet.
Yeah, but Piglet wasn't chosen though. He was invited.
He wasn't, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he wasn't chosen
By the people.
the council.
Yeah, he was chosen by a higher power, by by the gods that
By
are
fluke.
ESL, by fluke. But the players did unite, did pick Azure, and this time, I don't know if you noticed, he did go for a double gas opener. So a much more aggressive opener instead. This does mean that his own CC is going to be delayed, and Azure is going to be going for something a little bit different, something more aggressive here in Game 2.
Yeah, it's a factory before an expansion, and potentially we're not even going to see an expansion until after the initial move out. A second Reaper is on the way from Azure. Should be seeing a Hellion as well.
Yeah, we really should be. There we go. CC on the high ground as well. So a very safe command center overall is being taken from Azure. Very delayed as well in favor of this Hellion. Do we have an SCV on the map? We do not, as, the first Reaper already takes quite a number of hits from this Adept.
Yeah, it's definitely very, very low, but thankfully Reapers do restore health. It will mean that Azure can't be as pesky or annoying with it in the early game, but it's not like he really intends to do much without the Hellion to back up the Reapers.
Yeah, exactly. With the 2 Reaper, 1 Hellion, we can just bust on through. We can focus down an Adept, and we can try and get some economic damage as well. But we have a safety shield battery on the way. We have a Stalker as well. It looks like Potato is getting ready for a frontal assault.
Yeah, he's even got a wall by the Reaper ramp to prevent that multi-prong as well. Azure trying to find a way in, but none really present themselves for the time being.
Yeah, Potato, his defense has been really good. His army movement as well. He keeps up with the Reapers. He shoos them away. Behind this, Azure is going for a 1-1-1. Interesting follow-up here. We have a Cyclone on the way and a Medevac for a drop.
Okay, that's definitely one way of getting a bit of multi-prong going.
Yeah, this is almost like a little bit of a kitchen sink build here. I'm just really surprised by the addition of the Cyclone as well. But Azure has to be a little bit careful not to lose any of his initial units, as he takes a lot of hits here on his Reapers and Hellions, but he doesn't lose anything.
Yeah, it's absolutely crucial right now for Azure to be able to have all of these units hitting simultaneously. That's the only way he can really guarantee some damage will be done.
Yeah, and here we go. The first Hellion gets knocked down. He does get a probe kill, but he won't delay that third Nexus. as Azure is going to be able to drop into the main if he so wishes, but no, he's actually going to try and dive on top of the Stalkers.
Interesting choice. I do like that he has a really good flank, and with this medevac, he is able to juggle Cyclone a little bit. Stalkers are targeting the wrong unit, it seems. Marines come in right in the nick of time to save that Cyclone, and all of a sudden, look at that army supply difference. Azure, at the very least, is going to be able to deny the start base. If this keeps going on, he can end it. I didn't even realize he was making a tank.
He's rallying his tank across the map. He's got a Banshee on the way as well. Again, kitchen sink, mate. One of everything Azure. He just barely takes a better trade. He just barely overwhelms these Stalkers. Oh, he will lose his Cyclone in the end, but the tank has siege, and this third base is going to be cancelled.
Potentially killed. It's getting pretty dang close. Like,
he wants to save it. He wants to save it.
Cancel. You gotta cancel. He doesn't cancel, but will he save it? He could.
He gets a tank. He has an immortal as well. Potato forces this back, and he holds on to his base.
What? That, I'm impressed.
Oh my god, the base is standing here. It's slowly regenerating those shields. I do see Azure going to be going for a backstab, but with that Banshee. No cloak is researched, just a naked Banshee. Oh no! The drop!
The drop does get spotted by the Stalkers, and Blink did finish up. The majority of these Marines did get unloaded, but losing the medevac just like that pretty much confirms, pretty much secures the map control right now for Potato. Not the base control, however.
We do have a recall, though. The Banshee gets 2 probe kills. It's going into the main base as well, but 2 probes is not enough. Look at the worker disparity right now. We need more kills, and we do have a 4th kill.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad for Azure. Anything that he can really do to even out the worker deficit, but I don't think that Banshee's going to do too much more. He does have a lot of production, though, for this stage of the game. He's getting all of his upgrades. Azure, he is getting ready for one very solid +1 timing push.
Oh, he does have that push on the way, but he lost his first tank. He's lost a lot of Marines. Look at the units lost. Have 14 Marines and a tank, a Cyclone, a medevac, all for what? For a handful of probes. He wanted to at least kill that third, and he just couldn't break it in the end.
Technically speaking, I might have huffed a little bit of copium. Like, technically speaking, Potato has lost more resources.
True. Potato did lose more Stalkers. Copium. But we got Storm on the way, buddy. We have some splash damage. We got Immortals being pumped out as well. We do have double Forge for double upgrades. We have that third base fully saturated. And Azure, he's got to make a choice here. He is taking his own third CC. He could try and play this defensively, but that is not the Azure that we know and love. He wants to be in the face of the Protoss. He's moving out once again.
Yeah, trying to finish what he started when it comes to that third base, but now the Storms are about to finish up. I'm not sure what's in that War Prism, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see some Storm drops coming in. It's Zealots, actually. Okay.
Yeah, Storm is still on the way, but there we go. Zealots are going into the main base at the same time. Azure wants to focus on his attack, but the Zealots do force a reaction. There are some reinforcements to help deal with this.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they can't quite get on top of that War Prism. Great Widowmine hits on top of these Zealots, but unfortunately, I think they did friendly fire a little bit. 5 SCVs will go down. And Azure, yeah, he's still trying to find an opening to really punish one of Potato's expansions, but can't quite find it.
Yeah, he's looking for it, mate, but Storm is now done. He rotates around, but a spotted pylon does see the army of Azure, so we do see Potato being able to keep up with that army movement overall. The Prism is still alive, by the way, so he can still go for some counter damage if he sees an opening. And Azure is transitioning. We do have a Ghost Academy thrown down here to get into that Ghost production.
Yeah, get some solid EMPs on top of these High Templar, or even just to take out the shields of the rest of the army. Or nukes, you know.
True, yeah, we can.
Just putting it on the table.
Yeah. We could see those nukes. We have a massive Zealot run back towards the third base. We do have a couple of reinforcements in position to respond to this. It looks like not too many SCVs should be going down at the same time. Oh, we do have that main army pushing forward, cleaning up these mines.
Yeah, real good dodge with one of those Blink Stalkers from Potato.
Oh, definitely. Now there's only a single mine remaining. Meanwhile, the Prism goes into the main.
Once again, we should add. And this time there is going to be a sentry as well, just trying to block the main army from that ramp.
Yeah, it looks like it won't be able to in the end, but it does force the army to come all the way back home. And that is the cue here for Potato to move on forward as well and lay siege upon the third.
Yeah, he finds a little bit of an opening for himself. He will be sending everything he's got across the map, including his High Templar, including his Immortals. But he needs to fight with everything.
And he's got to be careful here. Like, the army supply of Azure is actually quite respectable. He does take out the Observer. He's got those 3 Ghosts on the way. Colossus production has just commenced, but there are no Colossi with the main army. So Potato, is he hitting an anti-timing here? Should he be waiting for his Colossus?
Potentially.
Potentially.
I would definitely agree, but there are no Widow Mines in this army. The Marauders barely make a dent against these Zealots.
Yeah, and the Storms are connecting with the army as well, and it looks like there may just be too much Protoss. Mine shots do go up, but oh my god, the blinks!
Right in the middle of right in the middle of the army, but there was a blink right at the last second, so Potato keeps enough of his forces alive to keep this push going. Azure is heavily on the back foot, and now here come the Colossus we were talking about. Great EMPs! Fantastic EMPs on top of those High Templar. But what about the Colossus?
That's the thing, right? No more Storms, but who needs Storm when you've got these big giant laser beams in your face? The Colossus finally show up. The boys are being pulled, but Potato is going to be able to clean up the army at the natural. GG gets called. Potato takes the 2-0 over Azure.
Not at all the result that I was expecting, and of course there were a couple of factors going into that game, but man, Potato just jumped a massive amounts of ranks in my internal in my internal system of like, okay, who are the notable players, who are the players to look out for in the region. Taking it to the likes of Azure, the AU representative. I'm very impressed by our Chinese Protoss player here.
I am as well. And, I can, start talking about how we weren't really, again, Azure, he didn't have his ideal setup. He wasn't playing at his peak performance that we usually expect from him. But regardless, we still expected quite big things from Azure. And for him to be taken down in the round of 16 is a massive upset. There's a big win here for Potato. For his career, for his overall Liga score as well, as he's going to be moving forward, and he gets into a qualifying match
with an opponent already waiting for him. It's a player who we are very familiar with here in the CranKy Ducklings. This is going to be a spicy PvP, misspoke, between Potato and Beastor.